Hey there, and welcome to this tutorial for the video play-alongs of rock and roll music. This summer, Pete McCarty with the Memphis Ukulele Flash Mob made this song as one of their normal Tuesday meeting songs, added it to the repertoire, and Pete posted that, and I thought this needs to be made a play-along of. So I made some play-alongs for it, and unfortunately I ran out of time to make videos of tutorials. So I like to put the tutorial along with the videos when I make them. Now, just as a note, if you go to ukestuff.info, you can download the tutorial notes that I'm using to show you, and those are there for your benefit. Also, in the description below, you'll see timestamps where you can jump to a part of this video that might be more fitting for you. So if you want to see GCEA chords, you can jump there. If you want to see DGBE chords, you can jump there. And if you want to talk about strumming, you can also go to that part. And this tutorial will blend a couple of those topics together, and there's just really no way around it. So, talking about GCEA soprano, concert, or tenor chords, I'm going to be using my own homemade ukulele. Part of the reason, it's made out of a cigar box, a really big cigar box, but since this was from the Memphis Ukulele Flash Mob last summer, not this summer, but the previous summer, my wife and I took a vacation to Memphis, partially to attend one of their meetings. And while I was walking through the streets of Memphis, we saw a cigar store with a bunch of boxes in it, and we went and bought this one box, which I came home and eventually made a ukulele out of, and it actually worked out pretty well. The action's a little high at the 12th, but it's really good at the first fret, so it works out well. Sounds okay, better than I ever thought it would. And there's actually a full video about me making this if you're curious of finding it on this page. So this is my Lunatic cigar box ukulele. And let's take a look at the chords you need for GCEA. Now, the first chord is kind of wacky. There are two wacky chords in the song, the one that starts the song and the one that ends the song. Don't know why that was the way it was written, but that's the way it was. So it starts off to my ear with a D7 chord, and we're going to play a Hawaiian D7 chord. The first finger will go on the 4th string 2nd fret, second finger will go on the 2nd string 2nd fret, and that's your Hawaiian D7. We call it a Hawaiian D7 because it doesn't actually have a D in it, but that's okay, we'll just leave it at that. Now, getting to the chords you actually need for the song, the next, for the song proper, mind you, the regular part of the song, the next chord you'll need is the A7 chord. So, 3rd string, 1st fret. The next chord you'll need is the D chord. So, there's a number of ways to play this. You might want to play it fingers 1, 2, and 3 on frets 4, 3, and 2. Right on the 2nd fret. Some people like to bend a single finger and play the same exact strings 4, 3, and 2 on the 2nd fret. I like to put my first finger at the top of the 3rd string 2nd fret, my second finger on the bottom of the 4th string 2nd fret, and my third finger on the bottom of the 2nd string 2nd fret, making an upside down V like a G7. The next chord you're going to need is the G chord. So the first finger goes on the 3rd string 2nd fret, second finger goes on the 1st string 2nd fret, and the third finger goes on the 2nd string 3rd fret. That's your G chord. And the final chord you need to use is a B minor chord, and quite honestly, if you don't play it in the song and you just ignore it, that can work too. But what we're going to be doing is replicating a capo with our fingers. And a capo is something that you put on a ukulele to shorten the length of the strings to change the key of the instrument. We're going to do the same basic things with our finger, and instead of playing the A minor chord, we're going to play the B minor chord, which is just like the A minor chord except up 2 frets. So we're going to put the first finger across all 4 strings of the 2nd fret, and then reaching over with the 3rd finger, we're going to play the 4th string 4th fret, which now looks like the 2nd fret over your bar. And that's your B minor chord. On baritone ukulele, I'll be using my mainland baritone ukulele, Cedar and Rosewood. It's my one and only baritone. The D7 chord is the chord that happens at the beginning of the song, which doesn't really make sense with the rest of the song, and that's okay. The D7 is played with the first finger on the second string first fret, second finger on the third string second fret, third finger on the first string second fret. That's your D7 chord. The next chord you'll need is the A7 chord. We're going to bar across all four strings like a capo. And the capo is used to go across all four strings to shorten the instrument so that you only sound from that particular fret up. We're going to be doing the same thing with our finger. We're going to reach across the second fret with all four strings with one finger. And then with the second finger, we're going to play the first string third fret. And that is your A7 chord. The next chord we're going to play is the D chord. The first finger will go on the third string second fret. The second finger will go on the first string second fret. And the third finger will go on the second string third fret. That's your D chord. The next chord you'll need is the G chord. So the third finger generally is used on the first string, third fret. That's your G chord. And finally, you'll have the B minor chord. There's a couple different ways to play it. This is how the diagram looks. First finger goes on the first string second fret. Second finger goes on the second string third fret. Third finger goes on the third string third fret. And then the fourth finger can go on the fourth string fourth fret. But if you don't want to play with the pinky on the top, you can also leave that pinky off. And that shape also works as a B minor chord. As it comes to strumming for this song, the general pattern is simply down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. But I hear a very clear strength on beats 2 and 4 as well, putting it as an offbeat. Now, what I really want to show you is the chord progression, so I'll put that up there. I've got D, G, D, A7, just as an example. And so what this would sound like, starting on the D chord, would be down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down. G, back to D, so it's just down, down, up, down, up, down, up. So now let's speed that up to what the speed of the song is going to be. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the other thing that you can do in those progressions with those 3 chords, so it's really a 3-chord song with 2 other chords thrown in, is you can kind of make a rockabilly thing going on by adding a finger and taking it off. You're actually adding generally the 6th of a chord. So with the rockabilly on GCEA, with the rockabilly add a finger on GCEA, what I'm finding easiest for me to do is simply to have my third finger, my ring finger, locked down as I'm playing that chord, but that's also because I play D in that upside down V format. So and then we switch over to the G chord, and you add the 4th finger on the 3rd string 4th fret and just lift it off and on, then back to the D chord. Then we get the A7, where we're going to add the 2nd finger on the 2nd string 2nd fret, 2, 2, 2. Back to the D, and rockabillying it out. Let's go take a look at that same rockabilly thing that you can do on the baritone ukulele. So if you're playing the D chord on baritone, if you add your pinky to the 3rd string 4th fret, actually making sort of that B minor shape, believe it or not, you can get that rockabilly on the D. Then you switch to the G chord and you add the 4th string 2nd fret. that 3rd string 4th fret. Now, A7 is a hard one. There, you want to add the pinky to the 4th string 4th fret. So let's do the whole sequence starting on the D. Adding the 4th finger on the 3rd string 4th fret. Now we go to the G chord. Adding the 4th string 2nd fret back to D. Then the hard one, the A7. Reaching over with the pinky, adding the 4th string 4th fret, and then back to the D chord, adding the 4th finger on the 3rd string 4th fret. So by adding a finger off and on, that gives you another option rather than just playing down, 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 down. And it makes things maybe more fun for if you want to try. And then you'll find out that you can add that little rockabilly thing in all sorts of different music and have some fun with it. So I hope the tutorial's been helpful. Hope you found something new here today. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time.